The sun sets over London. As night time comes in, Dracula wakes and sharpens his sword and prepares his weaponry. As for Van Helsing, she also does as well. And Renfield also has her box of insects ready as well. As for Agent Browning, he too preps up with a task force as they plan to fight Orlok and hopefully destroy him. Dracula then says, "Well then, for tonight we duel." Dracula and the team arrive at the warehouse, and they enter. There, on the top of some rusty old stairs, they see Orlok standing at the top, saying, "Ah, I see you brought company. I knew you would not come alone. So well, I had some of my new batch burn in the sun, but I kept the strong ones so they can keep them company and busy whilst we settle things." Then, other of Orlok's minions that he didn't kill come out from the dark, and Orlok then says, "Well, my children, have some fun and rip them to shreds. Me and Dracula here have a fight to settle." Then they all prep for battle. Ava gets out her sword and weapons and starts fighting the vampires. As for Tamara, she gets a cricket and starts to eat it, unleashing her hidden abilities and starts fighting with her strength. As for Browning, he uses weaponry of guns, and then another Foundation SWAT team come in at the aid and start fighting them off. As for Dracula, he then comes face to face with Orlok, with his sword at the ready. Orlok then says, "How about a fair fight? A proper fight. No weapons." "Very well then." Dracula then puts his sword down and takes off his medallion with nanotech armor, and the two race off to the ground and start fighting each other, punching and scratching and flying up into the air, throwing one another across the buildings, and Orlok getting the better of him. Orlok then says, "You know you can't beat me, child. I am far more older than you. 3,000, in fact even more than you. Yes, but I am a warrior prince. I have fought in a great war. Yes, a war that I helped you win. I made you part of this world, and I can just as easily destroy you from it, boy." Dracula then headbutts Orlok, knocking his two fangs out. Orlok then goes, "Ouch," as his two fangs grow back. Then they start to fight some more, Meanwhile, back in the warehouse, Ava is currently fighting some vampires and then goes back to back with Tamara, going, "So you say you're a lawyer?" "Yeah, well, I have my hobbies, such as eating bugs." "Yeah, how does that happen?" Dracula, he gave my great grandfather this ability that if he can destroy life, it will make him strong, and he gave him the ability to consume bugs for power as the two continue fighting and beheading and winning the vampires. As for Browning, he says, "I love to stop and chat with you ladies, but we need to keep fighting here." Then Orlok is flying up into the air, punching and scratching Dracula, and then rips his claw through his chest, then throwing him to the ground. He then goes, "You see, child, you can't kill me. I'm far older and stronger than you." Then Orlok puts his claw back into Dracula's wound, going, "Oh, I can feel it. It all trying to close up in you, trying to stop you from, well, feeling pain. You are weak, and you can't kill me. I know, but he could." "What do you mean?" Then the Wolfman jumps out of nowhere and pounces on Orlok, throwing him across into a wall. Orlok then saying, "What is this? A werewolf is only active in the light of the full moon. It's not full moon for a while yet." The Wolfman howling at Orlok and growling. Dracula then says, "It took you long enough, Larry," as he growled at Dracula. The two then band together and start fighting Orlok, but Orlok is strong and fast and tries to overpower the Wolfman. Then, taking the fight back into the warehouse, Dracula then grabs his sword and his nanotech armor with the medallion and armors up, and then Orlok grabs a rusty pipe and starts using that as a weapon, fighting Dracula, and then punching Dracula's armor, breaking it, and then feeling weakened and drained but still strong, until he is then shot with a wooden bullet by Van Helsing. "You missed the heart, bitch." "I wasn't aiming for your heart, I was just getting you weak. I know it takes more than just a stake to the heart to kill you." "Yes, well, your ancestors were strong men. I'm surprised and impressed that a woman can do what your male-dominant ancestors could." "Apparently I had ancestors that were women too, that helped in the fight against darkness." Then Dracula drives his sword through Orlok, and then Renfield drives a piece of broken wood into Orlok as well. As for Browning, he too grabs a silver dagger into Orlok. Silver doesn't kill me. It's just a very bad substance." Then the Wolfman runs up howling. Then, clearing the way for the Wolfman, he then scratches Orlok along the chest, going, "You bad dog. How is it you can turn without full moon? Have you learned something new? Is it a new evolutionary cause? 'Cause I know werewolves don't get evolution like we do. Then the wolfman goes in and bites Orlok along the shoulder, wounding him fatally as he collapses to the ground. As Dracula and the others continue to battle Orlok's minions and continue fighting, then, after a long fight happening throughout the night, Dracula then comes up to Orlok. Retreating his nanotech armor back into his medallion, he then says, "One thing I want to know. Why did you do this? Why come back and cause havoc for me?" "Because, child, I wanted you to be like me. We're predators, you and I. We shouldn't be in touch with our humanity. We're creatures of the night, feeders of blood. Humans, they're just cattle to us. You should see that. We're not meant to be human. We're not even meant to have emotions. We're meant to be monsters. Yes, well, it is what made me human that reminds me of this. Yes, I lived for 500 years in isolation. That drove me insane. I was obsessed with finding my lover, and I found her and you took her from me. And you tried to turn my humanity off, trying to get me to be this beast that I once was, a fearsome creature. I saw in your blood the things you did. 1897, that voyage on the Demeter. My God, the massacre was great. You truly were evil. I was blinded by my darkness, and I will use my humanity to shield myself again. Of course. You fight with great honor, and you have good allies. I respect that. It is the werewolf venom. It's slowly flowing through you. It's killing you. Yes, it is, and I feel the pain. I'm dying. I'm dying. Just remember, Vlad, the first always wins. The venom then spreads through him, poisoning him and wearing him down into where he just becomes dust. Then, many of Orlok's minions start to feel weakened. That is when the Foundation SWAT teams put them all down and kill them. The others then come to Dracula saying, "Did you do it?" "Talbot's venom took a while, but we got there." "Okay, what do? We have a werewolf." "Easy now, Talbot. Remember who we are. Remember, it's not a full moon. You turned of your own free will. It's me, Todd. Todd Browning, remember? Agent of the Foundation. Help you with your meditative methods." Then he gets shot with a dart. by a Foundation SWAT member. Then Talbot instantly falls unconscious, and as it isn't a full moon, he reverts back to his human state. He'll be fine in a few hours, said Todd. You had every intention of having him put under, didn't you, after the fight? Yes, it's too much of a hassle trying to reason and get Talbot to re-emerge. As dawn approaches, Talbot wakes up in a state... Oh, my head. Sorry about the dart, said Todd. Yeah, well, luckily my wolf genes have managed to regenerate my body and help me wear off some of the trank you got in me. God, that's strong. Yeah, it was enough to put down 10 elephants. 10 elephants? A werewolf's really that strong with it? Yes. As for Dracula, he sat in his living quarters, drinking blood and grieving for his loss. Then a knock on the door is heard. Dracula then tells them to go away. Not listening, Griffin walks in. Dracula then turns around and says, "Huh. So you decided to knock this time and not sneak in with your invisibility. I thought I would be respectful to you, Dracula. We did our best to find Shelley. But don't you think that she may be reincarnated again? It'll be another lifetime before she is born again. And if she'll even have the memories. And what family will she be born into? It's all to do with her bloodline." Yes. Do you know how she keeps getting reborn? Many centuries ago, when I was truly at my helm, a gypsy witch laid a curse saying that my lover and those I care about will be reborn and will die again and again and keep reborning themselves. And I'll watch them die and be born again. It's a curse that drove me insane. I isolated myself, living in that castle, slowly just losing touch with my humanity. Now, if you excuse me, I'm mourning. Of course. Well, do brief us when you're feeling much better. Yes. As Griffin then walks off, he then says, "Actually, Griffin, could you bring Tamara here?" "Miss Renfield? I can, yes. I'll tell her to come to you right away." Then Tamara comes to Dracula saying, "How may I serve you, master?" "I've been living in this century for a bit. I'm thinking of going into a slumber for a while, just till I can get over some things." "You want to go into a slumber?" "Yes. Not for long. Maybe when the world needs me this time, though. I'm sure any of the other monsters can handle anything else." "Of course, master. I'll prepare your casket for you." "Thank you." Dracula then goes into his coffin and rests. As Tamara returns to a Foundation office, Ava says, "So, what's he doing?" "He wants to sleep for a while. I don't know how long, just indefinitely, not permanently, but he says the world will have to need him next time. Maybe when that monster squad of yours reforms again for whatever reason. I see. Don't worry. I'll keep tabs on him. Right. By the way, Miss Van Helsing, please, it's Ava. Yes, do you perhaps want to get dinner sometime and a movie? A movie? Are you asking me out on a date? Well, it's what normal people do, and I think we should take a break from all this monster bullshit for a while, don't you? Well, there is a film out I want to see. Great. So is that a yes? All right. Great then. When are you free next? I'll let you know, said Ava. Meanwhile, Dracula sleeps in his casket, and as he then sleeps, he then goes into a dream state, where he then sees Shelley. Shelley? Hello, Vladimir. I'm so sorry, my love. I should have protected you. It's all right, Dracula. I know now you're sad and angry, but you need to keep fighting. Do that for me and I'll be reborn again someday, some lifetime. It might take a while, but it's not goodbye forever. Be strong for me, my love. I'll wait for you. I'll always wait for you. I know. I love you. I love you too, my prince. The two then share a kiss. As we then go out of Dracula's dream state, as Dracula sleeps, he smiles. As he feels that he has some sort of closure. At a public presentation, a scientist named Pretorius holds a demonstration for this public event, saying, "My name is Dr. Pretorius, and tonight I'm going to perform a miracle. You see, science and supernatural. I believe that supernatural is science that we don't understand. And me and my colleagues have modernized an old scientific method which was thought to be long gone. But we believe that our bodies are like organic machines, and when we die they turn off. But what if we could turn them on?" Meanwhile, in the crowd, Adam Frankenstein, sitting with Dr. James Whale, saying, "This is the man who's been causing you some disturbance." "Yes, Adam. We've been keeping our eye on him for a while. He works for an institution called the Order." "The Order," yes. An extreme order that believes that supernaturals are an abomination. I see. And what is he doing here then, this Pretorius? Well, like we said, we had a mole in the Foundation that stole digital copies of Frankenstein's work. Yes. Well, I believe that they had a buyer. Pretorius. Yes. Of course, I will perform this miracle on the very person who founded this experiment over 240 years ago now or something. I give you, preserved in perfect condition due to being frozen in the Arctic for a long time. I give you the body of Victor Frankenstein. He then reveals the body, Frankenstein laying there lifeless on the table. Adam looks in horror, saying, I thought you destroyed the body. I thought you cremated him. We did. Unless this mole took the body and we cremated someone else. We have to stop him. We have to stop him now, said Adam. Meanwhile, Pretorius then states at the presentation, prepare yourselves, people, to a world of gods and monsters.